I'm really into like the whole punk rock vibe of hot rodding and modifying vehicles. It's counterculture. I don't really subscribe to like the status quo, so driving around this kind of stuff is kind of a whole, f you to everybody else. I don't really have any specific genre of cars that I focus on. If it's cool, it's cool. I don't really discriminate on cars. I like cars, and if it's fast, it's cool. If it looks cool, it's cool. If it's weird and esoteric, it's cool. I like it all. I've got a 63 Impala. My wife has a 59 T-Bird. I have a 32 Ford Hot Rod, a Humvee. Like, I also have the Nuke van. The Nuke van's a 1953 Ford Vanette, and it was one of 3 that were built for the California Department of Civil Defense during the Cold War. Its sole purpose was to go out and assess damage in case of a nuclear war. It had Geiger counters in it, lead-lined walls, all kinds of stuff. After it didn't have any purpose with the California Department of Civil Defense, it went to a storage lot and then was auctioned off, and then it was turned into a mobile recording studio. And after that, it was abandoned. My friend James brought it to me, and James wanted a diesel 4-wheel drive kind of adventure mobile, and then he just traveled around with that thing and had a good time with it. It sat for a little while, so I talked him into selling it back to me. Myself, my friends, and my shop here, we built it up to what it is now. It's a fully finished overlanding, camping, long travel, live out in the middle of nowhere with no power kind of rig now. It's really cool. What we did for him initially is the 5.9 liter Cummins turbo diesel, all stock inside. It's a VE pump one, so it's not very powerful, but it's dead reliable. ATS Aurora turbocharger, MBRP 4-inch exhaust, dynamite diesel, stage 1 injectors. A stock pump is turned up. It's got a vibrant intercooler with all vibrant piping, a corporate 14 bolt with a limited slip in the back, high pinion Dana 60 in the front. It has Bilstein remote reservoir shocks all the way around. The front leaf springs are off early Ford Super Duty. If you look at the wheel and tire package on this thing, it's got like a standard single wheel front, Toyota tires. We run the MTs all the way around on this thing. And then on the back, we got the 16-inch dualies. When you go into the inside of the Nuke van, it's like a really nice Tahoe cabin. It's got solid bamboo floors, solid bamboo countertops, bunk beds, heated floors, home theater, surround sound. The interior also has suede and vinyl custom seats that were made by PRP, custom for the Nuke van. Custom harness bars that go behind the seats with PRP race harnesses on it. If you look on the outside of the Nuke van, you see a massive amount of Baja Designs lights on this thing. Anywhere you go, you can turn night into day. It's got full 360-degree scene lighting with XL80s all around the outside, 8 LP6 forward lights on it, and 2 LP9 forward lights. We took the factory bumper and modified it with a winch cradle and light mount. We patina'd it all to look exactly like the paint on the original bumper. There's a Warn M15S synthetic rope winch with a 15,000 pound capacity. It's got 4 big anti-gravity lithium batteries in the back for storage. It's got the same solar system that you would have on your off-grid house. Solar panel, everything's wired to code. Part of the Nuke van's personality is it's a Cold War survivor. So if you look at the side of it, there's a bullet hole on it, and that's from whenever it was abandoned for 30 years or so. It's still got the military gray on it, and it's all rusted and kind of crappy on the outside, and anything we added to it, we took and we matched that patina. It just shows its age, and I think that's cool. You earn a patina. I grew up in Fort Bragg, California, small town. I've always been interested in cars. Typical teenage boy, had the car posters on the walls. Me and my dad would sit and watch NASCAR and Indy and all these different races like Pikes Peak, stuff like that. But I also grew up pretty poor, so there wasn't really any chance of my dad having a project car or me having a project car. As soon as I had got my license, I bought a 78 Volkswagen Dasher from Auto Shop. I actually still have the car, and eventually I'm gonna do something cool with it. The Volkswagen Dasher in this form, in the 2-door hatchback gas, it's probably the rarest Volkswagen that you can get, period. I want to do like a modern, maybe like a VR6 or something like that in it. That was the first car I really tinkered with, little 2-door hatchback junker, and I've owned a few hundred cars ever since then. My dad was a tinkerer, definitely a DIY guy. It was a sin to take your car to the local mechanic and have him work on it. You know, you could save money and do it yourself. The shop's actually named after my dad. My dad was named Charles Birdsall. His nickname was Chuck, and when he was a police officer, all his fellow officers called him Chuckles. We do everything from full tilt SEMA builds to four-wheel drive conversions to resto mods to race cars. It's kind of a shop of all different genres of car culture. I went to school for engineering, and then I guess you could blame Home Depot for Chuckles Garage because I was district manager there, and I just decided to do what I love, which is cars. I took everything I had in savings, got my first shop, tiny little 1,000-square-foot shop in the ghetto, started building hot rods out of there. It caught on, I got in a bunch of hot rod magazines, and that's it. Having a carcane addiction, it's not really a bad thing for me because it's what I make my living off of. It's what makes me happy. It gives you a certain amount of joy and freedom from it. Like, it's a multifaceted thing. My kid enjoys it. My wife likes cars. People say I have a car problem, but it's not a problem because I've got 5 employees in there. It supports them and their families. I get to go to work and do what everyone else does after in their free time. Like, they work 40-hour week and they think, oh, I can't wait to go home on the weekend and work on my race car or work on my hot rod or whatever they own. I get to do it all day long, and so does everybody in the shop. They are all top-notch fabricators and all have the same carcane addiction that I do. You know, they're obsessed with cars and unique stuff. We're 2J swapping old box cars and turning old apocalypse vehicles into overland rigs, and I like the whole kind of punk rock aspect of it. I come from a snowboarding, skating, motocross, punk rock, heavy metal background, and I guess I like the whole subculture of all those different lifestyles, and car culture is also another subculture, so I don't really like having constraints. Maybe it's not a counterculture thing, it's just I want to do what I want to do with cars and my life and whatever I choose, I guess. I don't want people to put a leash on me. Take Old Smokey, for example. It's a 70-year-old farm truck, and we modified it to the point where it was a world-class race car, and we took it to Pikes Peak and set a world record with it. Or what we just did last summer, we took a 91 Toyota Hilux and modified it to the best of our ability here at the shop, and we went out and we set the mini truck record at Bonneville. So there's freedom in that. There's artistic expression. It's just rad. Most of this whole car problem that me and everybody else here at the shop have is supported by my racing. You know, AMSOIL is my title sponsor, Toyo Tires is a big sponsor, Platinum Racing Products, Artec, all these guys support everything we do. The Land Speedscaping truck, what's left of Old Smokey back there. Like, all these companies support that, and it also supports all the projects and all the other fun stuff I get to do. I also don't like to take racing too seriously. You know, I come from professional sports car racing, and it's so stuffy, and I just want to have fun. If it's not fun, I don't want to do it. Every year, Sawbelt and I will come up with some wild suit design, whether it be like a cowboy, Dia de los Muertos, Ricky Bobby. Like, you just gotta have fun. Like Ricky Bobby said, I just want to go fast.